When you start to think about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin specifically, as I mentioned at the intro, you all have been paying attention to this since about 2015 in terms of research. In 2017, you started to actually get into the mining business, and from there have expanded a lot of what you're doing in the space. Maybe give us a quick overview, like what is the thesis? Why are you all who, frankly, are just arbitraging? You have really long time horizons and tend to be very kind of research-driven investors. Why are you so interested in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
Well, when I first heard the story, it immediately hit home with me based on supply and demand, basic economics, right? There's a limited supply, there's growing demand. Correcting mechanism is the price. So I could see how you could make a lot of money of it. But the thing that I mentioned starting off, a crisis in confidence, there's a crisis in confidence in our financial leaders, our legal leaders, our medical leaders, et cetera. So Bitcoin takes away the ability to print money and to steal time from you, and it puts it into the hands of basically math or an algorithm, and that's a very powerful tool. And for the bulk of history, human history, most of the time, money has actually been in the private hands, not in government's hands. And the governments around the world have used that power, and I think people are going to want to take that back. And I see Bitcoin potentially playing a massive role in that. So there's a possibility, I don't know how it's going to play out, that Bitcoin becomes a reserve currency status, and the world actually puts itself on that standard. And if that happens, everyone's going to want to own that. I think you're starting to see that play out, and it's almost impossible to keep up with the progress that's being made literally on a daily basis within the Bitcoin community and things that are going there. And you know that probably better than anyone.
When you think about Bitcoin's future, I always say that it's pretty obvious. It's a great store of value over long periods of time, right? But one of the best performing, if not the best performing asset over the last decade, compounding at 150% annually during that time period. And still, relatively small percentage of the global population has any, right, on the grand scheme of things. And so fixed supply asset, if that demand continues to become pervasive, then obviously the price will go up. What do you think is kind of likely to occur? Do you think that Bitcoin could rise to be the global reserve currency? Do you think it becomes just another asset that central banks put into their reserves? What do you think is the likely outcome here?
I think the established powers are going to fight it for time. I think it's inevitable, and I think they're going to get on board with that. So my own assessment is that most people are viewing Bitcoin as still a curiosity. I'm viewing it more as a necessity to fix a lot of the problems in the world. So my assessment is that a single Bitcoin is ultimately going to go into the many millions of dollars. How it gets from point A to point B, nobody knows. Really, every currency has collapsed relative to Bitcoin, as you pointed out. And I think that it's going to continue because I don't see how they get out of this debt burden without continuing to print and to inflate. And I think more and more people are going to recognize that as a store of value and potentially a reserve, the world's reserve currency. So I'm pretty optimistic about it. And again, you don't need a big amount of exposure to this. If in that success mode, you'll do incredibly well, and you'll be able to outrun the inflation that I think likely is going to occur.
Hey, you, did you like this video? Great. We make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and see you next time.